the Trans Resource and Education Extravaganza, as well as all participants of the WRC, the Women's Resource Center. And there's two events groups on campus, so if you want to get involved, they both have tables in back. Please go and peruse and talk and get involved. We also have a trained sexual assault advocate available for anyone that might need him tonight. Trigger warning for the whole show. Just be aware of it. If you're feeling triggered at all at any point and need to talk or would like to know about some local resources, please grab Dalen. Here is he. Dalen's right back there waving to everyone. Dalen's super awesome. Advocates are a great resource that we have. And there's a private room in back, so if you need to talk, you'll have some privacy for that. So, let's get to it. First up, we have a fantastic performance by the Old Growth Poetry Collective. Hailing from the foliage-laced cultural and political hotbed of Cascadia, the Old Growth Poetry Collective has been a whirlwind of revolutionary poetics since performance poetry hit the scene in Olympia, Washington. Since its founding at the Evergreen State College in 2011, the collective has brought poetry to new venues and new audiences, delivering emboldening critiques of the status quo, gut-quaking humor, and visceral revelations on the meaning of self in society to Olympia and beyond. Questionable to some, objectionable to others, and downright dangerous to those that would seek to steal art from the masses, the Old Growth Poetry Collective gives voice to vision and hearts of change agents across Cascadia. So please join me in welcoming Brian McCracken and Michaela Snow.
We are tired
of poetry readings with undead stanzas staggering through frayed stitched lips in the dimly lit red pen districts of college campuses. In ivory towers all across America, bow-tie poets map out our eardrums like a cartographer's dying breath in perfect Courier 10-point font. This poem is my dissertation.
We're not meant to bite our tongues to the tunes of Xanax-stuffed black beret poets, Daddy-o. Not meant to hunch cold and dry under the weight of dead beatniks, sedated by the one-way death rattles of imitation word Buddhas siphoning culture through non-fat lattes.
Poets of the Academy.
Of the deserted book nooks.
Of the ghost town coffee shops.
Please stop hiding behind your social milieu.
Please stop hoarding the water.
Please stop buttering out 2% haikus
because poetry was born to perform.
We are gathered here tonight like the spoken word smiths before us,
trading swigs of epiphany
between constellation
and bonfire,
from the bars
to the jesters,
to the griots of Africa,
from soapbox chariot slingers,
to the freestyle and alley cats taking the beat to the street,
to the poet revolutionaries stretching fists to the skies. These battle cries against complicity defiantly twist and turn before you.
Mic stand dancing,
exhaling sutras,
expelling alienation through moonlight kisses.
Middle fingers. Vulnerable.
Stronger in our weakness, we are unveiled upon this altar, disrobed amongst this audience, existing already within you.
We are a window.
You are entertained.
However, we are not your fucking TV!
And you are not consumers tonight.
Do not sit idly petrified in your seats, passively sponging out poetry like advertising jingles.
Resurrect yourselves! You are hereby liberated from your lives of quiet desperation.
Let us be crucified by your silence,
stoned by your gaze, you room full of beautiful Medusas. We are the goddesses and gods we have always run to in times of crisis.
This
mic breaks bread, not bodies.
Let us sip not prison wine and caged whimpers, but bootleg moonshine and high-speed chases like whiskey barrels, like 30-year scotch. Let us gaze into the eyes of each other's hurricanes. Let us drink the perfect storm. This mic trickles syllables across the nape of your neck.
Your chest.
the sensitive parchment cradling your abdomen.
Let these words be the tingle of a lover's fingertips.
Let us taste each other's sweat.
Wet like the dusk on the lips of our lovers.
Poetry is the sweet nectar of our most beautiful
Chips and cracks,
those.
hairline fractured capillaries.
Let us be
The ultimate.
voice box
to
to
eardrum,
eardrum,
soul,
funk lovers. So tell me,
what scriptures have never left the prison of your lips?
what mantras yearn for freedom from the cells between your hips?
Nymphs
Sirens,
and satyrs.
seize back your life tonight and live it in
Decibels
decibels, in
in
sound waves tonight. Speak. Sing intimacy and unpunctuated operatic glory.
Your poetic life force
Straight through your sternum.
Your ribs.
Spitting structure fire off the gunpowder of your tongue. We
are the arsonists.
are the phoenix. Thank you. Please, next up, welcome to the stage, Rochelle Seelig.
Clap it up.
Her eyes gleam fierce with full conviction. Bodies that shrivel are beautiful. But even the most beautiful flowers, when hung on display, will wither. Through different eyes, fat punctures flesh like orange innards, or a blackberry ripe on the vine, too big for its skin. This is me looking at you, friend. You will always be sweet fruit. Forget the body as a temple. It has gone wrong by inviting idols of fantasy to adorn our walls, inspiring adolescent devotion and prayers like, please forgive me for the sins that have touched my lips. I witness this obsession. I will not run into oblivion with you, moving to the mantra, rectify the wreck you are. You're wasting on the wind. I can hardly see you. Pictures cut, curves that bellow reality edited from my memory. I guess you have to prove you've been reborn as a superstar, porn star, demigoddess. But not without the price of atonement. The temple has been seized. We are treated like street beggars, posing pretty for admittance back into our own bodies, but there is nothing unrighteous about a womb that is growing and says, feed me. I am a vessel for humanity. Up next is Brian McCracken and Daniel Georgeson.
We are living in a dream. This
American dream.
2 cars, 2.5 kids
Hummers equipped with colors.
that you've never heard of.
You now have the right to procreate, though it is becoming increasingly out of fashion.
Sex.
Without attachment is the not-so-new vogue.
How am I not myself?
How am I not myself?
How am I not myself?
Praise be to our Calvin Klein idols,
Both.
gods of body.
GQ called.
They want their watch back and suggest that you stop inhaling their scratch and sniff.
Cologne. Because you are becoming drunk on fantasy, gazing, eyes glazing at cover girls on covers who don't look like they do.
They tell you you should too.
Chin tuck, nip tuck, dignity fucked. All hail the airbrush. All hail
Industry.
capitalism is God's gift to man, and I spell that with a lowercase g because it seems there's nothing proper about that noun anymore.
60% off salvation today.
2 for 1 at your local confessional. How am I not myself? How am I not myself? How am I not myself? Ticker tape tapestries of clearance Walmart identities. Ego! No money back!
No interest today.
Put yourself on layaway!
Strange mall creatures wandering in and out of beauty boutiques and Caribou Coffee, reading special interest stories about coffee bean slaves, while caffeine and addiction to bad news wonders.
How many licks to the center of a latte? Once overloaded with materials, now in spiritual poverty. Here's the real deal. You've got the raw deal, prepackaged identity and a $50 gift card, mockery of innate character traits. How am I not myself?
How am I not myself? How am I not myself? How am I not myself?
Poets.
And artists.
In this increasingly illiterate Facebook TV dinner era are becoming obsolete and must now subsist on merely paint fumes and camaraderie alone. Passion used to be the seed of creativity, but now it is nothing but a cash trap sold
to the highest CEO junkie and the lowest bidder.
How am I not myself?
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 How am I not myself? How am I not myself? How am I not myself? How am I not myself?
How am I not myself?
How am I not myself? Please welcome to the stage Mnet Gatoon.
And Matt Fearon. Pedal pushing through Olympia streets, sun beats down strong. Like my thighs pushing up, like my joy to breathe deep, like my heart pounding fast. Like a shattering glass, and the Jeep speeding by, and the crack of their slur, white power, strikes the air fast. And in a moment, I am there, on the front line of a 300-year war on brown skin, Middle Passage, Hottentot, Jim Crow selling block people, cities burning. I am there on Harrison and Division on two wheels with too much rage. And in that moment, I want my thighs to push harder and my bike to have wings. I want to catch their sad, sorry, clan-loving asses and sing them strange fruit, kick them in the nuts in cowboy boots, and systematically erase their ignorance. I want to rip the target off my back. I want to be stronger, powerful, and vicious. I want to be any color, not colored other. I want to give them my shame. Give them my shame because I have had enough to go around, because it weighs too heavy on my 5'2" frame. And in a moment, I'm sick and tired of being ashamed and tired of being brown-skinned. But in a moment, the Jeep is gone. The moment is gone, and I am still standing. There on Harrison and Division on two wheels with too much to do, strong. Green.
One, they packed us into train cars like cattle. Worse than cattle. They fed us potato skins. They fed us nothing. Their boots entered our doorways at night. We have nightmares of showers we never return from, babies held to their mother's breasts so they will not inhale the gas, babies exterminated. And we said, never again will God's people, the Jews, be treated this way. 2. In Jerusalem, I saw girls and boys, children in uniform, with rifles on their backs and slushies in their hands. I saw my grandma cling to the Wailing Wall like she might cling to a son just returned from war. In a museum, a timeline listed the points when blood had run in the streets of this city as it changed hands from one God's people to the next. The idea of these massacres in the place where I stood sickened me, and I thought, I do not love this land. This is a place of death without renewal, and God exists everywhere, so why would I ever choose to seek the sacred in this place of trauma? 3. I am sitting in a tiny apartment full of young Jews crammed around mismatched tables. We are here to celebrate the liberation from slavery in Egypt and so many other liberations, an orange on the Seder plate for queers in our community, an olive for Palestine. Vince invites us to interrupt with questions during the Haggadah reading. As a child, I memorized the 4 questions asked by the youngest person at the table. Until now, those were the only questions I had been invited to ask during the Seder. 4. When I told my grandma I was organizing with radical Jews in support of Palestinian rights, she said almost nothing. 5. Zionists invaded Palestine. Palestine was invaded by Zionists. Palestine was invaded. Palestinians are refugees. Palestinians are terrorists. Palestinians are violent fanatics who thirst for the blood of Jewish babies, or was it Jews who thirst for the blood of Christian babies, or did anyone remember that neither Jews nor Muslims consume blood? 6. When my grandma finally decided to talk to me about the differences in our views, I told her about the girl who grew up in my community, graduated from my school, stood in front of a Palestinian home to prevent its demolition, was crushed to death by an Israeli bulldozer. My grandma said that girl should not have been standing there. My grandma said she must have been stupid. And when my grandma finally decided to talk to me, she did not decide to listen. 7. When the new Haggadah in the tiny apartment asks, in what ways have you personally been liberated this year? I imagine the binds of destructive stories being broken, stories based on fear whose morals are hatred and aggression. 8. Babi and Zaidi, Sava and Safta, grandmothers and grandfathers, teach us that our suffering was a gift from God, for only through that suffering could we truly understand the suffering of others. God chose us so that we might know what it is to be the other in our own homes. Babi, teach me that the appropriate response to Weltschmerz is tikkun olam, that the best way to honor those who suffered and died because of other people's fear and hatred and confusion and prejudice is to teach people not to act out of fear, hatred, confusion, and prejudice, but out of love. Be sure I understand that the trauma of Kristallnacht and Al-Nakba is the same. Be sure I understand that there is no never again without never again for anyone.
My dad taught me how to hold a man, crying, drunk. By now he's outlived his father. This was given to me in name. Sunshine, she said when I was born, you will be a brightener of men. No, I am a sky holder of your sons. This is to my nephew. Dear baby, thank you for letting me watch you be born. I think pink is a boy's color because you were born that way. Dear baby, have they made you feel blue yet? Dear baby, they say blue is for boys because when you stop crying, you turn that color. When you were born, you were open-mouthed. We were silent for you, baby boy. I want to tell you one thing. You can cry, you can cry, you can cry. Next is Michaela Snow.
X, Y, Z. Sex, wine, and jazz. And really, it is wrong, but it's all so good on a warm summer night in the city, sweet, sunny Seattle, in a hot, trumpeting jazz club, the tension paramount, my eyes traitorously revealing my naked thoughts. Boundaries of bodies, excuses to cross. Is it the thrill of secrecy, the temptation of treachery which enthralls us? But oh, they suspected us from the start, knew our thoughts before our touches, so hurry! This moment won't recur. Please kiss me beneath the blue trees. I won't let the opportunity be brushed aside, dismissed like the debris in the street sweeper's path for fear. For fear of the pleasure this mess might bring, for fear of the mess this pleasure might bring. See, I'm not interested in clear conscience, nor spotless street corners. I'm not interested in self-control or trying to contain this attraction much longer. I'm not interested in friendship, evasive conversation, decorum, or caution, baby. We passed those exits 2 breakfasts ago. I am interested in cold beer and good weed, in bare skin and smooth strokes in the lake, swimming beneath the stars, the perfect coldness which belies my burning heart. If there's any reason not to kiss you right now, tell me. Honey, our fate was sealed with a wink an hour ago. I am interested in taking this tension beyond boiling point. I'm interested in the way my body feels beneath your hands, how your pressure might weigh me, how your movements might sway me, how your fingers might play me. See, I'm interested in how your saxophone skills will translate. How your breath might escape. In the morning, Frida Kahlo and I gaze at one another. The woman who loved to paint herself, viewing her own dark visage through other eyes. And I wonder if you might think me as strange and beautiful, as unique and dangerous, and if we might ever paint this picture again.